are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Ha. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Let's get it.
What?
At Tanagra, when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. We've got Stella on the ones and zeros. Preston is incognito. He says he's on his way. We'll find out.
Whatever.
Jesse's here doing what Jesse does, and for some reason, this was not run by me, but Harrison is in the guest chair again.
Yeah.
So he's looking.
Well, there was a lot of fan support last time.
Well, he's looking to break his record. Last time, I think he said 8 words.
Yeah.
So
I'm going for 9 today.
I don't know. I don't want to.
9,
I don't want to get the cart before the horse, but I'm thinking maybe double digits today. And I know that's ridiculous.
He's already halfway there.
It's like when somebody has a hitting streak and they're like at 27 games. Like, could they break DiMaggio's records? Like, calm down. Okay, it's a long way to 56.
You're
okay?
not getting Pete's.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Not getting Pete's.
The 44 of the National League.
You're not.
Right?
Oh, you're saying you're not even getting.
You're not
Pete's
even
record.
getting to
I see
Pete's.
what you're saying. Let alone Joe DiMaggio.
Let alone Joe DiMaggio.
Joltin' Joe.
Okay, so I got a story right off the bat.
We've got you on our side. Is it got to do with Panera? We
It does have to do
probably
with Panera.
talk about the Panera subscription more than any podcast. Wouldn't you
It's
say
not
so?
an official sponsor.
No, because we'll tell the truth about Panera. We will expose the underbelly of the subscription. Mm-hmm.
So tonight, we stopped at Panera on the way here,
As you do.
as we do, and I get out the van, I close the door, I grab my 2 or 3 extra cups, and I'm getting ready to go into the door, and a guy pops around the corner, like pop, like out of the box, right, just right there, and he's got long hair, and he's missing most of his teeth, and he
Was he wearing like glasses that looked homemade?
no,
Okay.
Did he have suspenders?
I did not see suspenders. He had a button-up shirt,
Okay.
so I mean,
skinny?
yeah,
Like really
Oh,
skinny.
okay.
Pretty
I think
skinny.
I know who this guy is.
Okay.
Continue.
So I made eye contact with them, which is the first mistake.
Yeah.
You don't make eye contact with these people. That's like the worst thing you can do.
I try not to make. I didn't even make eye contact with Erica when we were exchanging vows. I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, Dan, look at me. A ring is enough, right? Do we really need to get? It just seemed a bit much to me.
So I made eye contact with them, and at the same time, we both said, "Hey," like,
Oh.
"Hey," and I was just doing it so that I could.
I'm sorry. This is outside of Panera.
It was right outside the front doors,
Okay.
the double doors,
All
right?
Okay. Hey,
Hey, because he came around that corner.
Yeah.
He caught me off the blind. I mean, it was a blind side.
as he does.
I didn't see him. So he comes around the corner and Stell's behind me, and I make eye contact with him, and I immediately recognize that this guy is no good. Like, this guy's up to something.
He's up to something.
So I look at him in the eyes, and at the same time, we both said, hey. My thought was, if I dominate the conversation,
Right.
he's not going to ask me for money or
Nobody
food or whatever.
dominates a conversation like you.
I try my best. So I said, hey. He said, hey. I think it caught him off guard because he wanted to say, hey, first,
Ah.
so that he could dominate the conversation. That's not going to happen.
He's barking up the wrong tree.
Barking up the wrong tree. So immediately I realize he's no good. Estelle's behind me. We're on a mission. So I open up the door really quick, and we ducked in real quick. And I kind of glance behind me, and he walks by looking in. So I thought, okay, let me just say something to the Panera people.
Dodge that bullet.
I dodged that bullet. So I go up to the counter, and Hannah's helping me.
Hello, my love.
No, not that one.
Okay.
No, this is Hannah. And Hannah knows me, not by name, but she knows that I
think,
come there.
who's
often.
Hannah?
The blonde girl.
How old would you say?
Oh, young, and she's tall. She's like 6 foot.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
The other day I walked up, and I walked up to the counter, and she said, "How can I help you today?" I said, don't want to brag, but I'm a member of the SIP club.
You said that?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I kind of looked around. I was like, listen, I don't want to brag, but I'm a member of the SIP club.
She just hands you the cup. Just go get your drink.
Just get out of
Just
here, you
leave.
moron.
So when Hannah sees me, she
Yeah.
just gives me the cup.
Yeah.
She doesn't even ring it out. She
Okay.
knows the deal.
She knows the deal.
So I go. I said, "Hey, there's a guy out there,
And he's
And-
saying, hey.
and and she goes, "Did he ask you for money?"
Ah.
And I said, "Well, he didn't, but I think he was going to."
Yeah.
I said, "We kind of tucked in really quick," and she goes, "Yeah."
No one avoids the homeless like you. I've always said that.
Well, the avoidance almost became a confrontation.
Oh.
So I tell this to Hannah, and Hannah goes, "Yeah, he's been around a little bit, and we might have to ask him to go.
Yeah.
We've actually called the police on him before."
Call him again.
And so I said, "Okay." I said, "If you need me to, I'll go tell him."
Oh, okay.
Because I don't.
You're
You
that-
would.
You're
Yeah, I
that
would.
guy.
You would.
So I'm looking around the room, and I'm seeing all these little girls. They're all like 18 to 20. They're little girls, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to back them up, whatever.
Sure.
And she goes, I'll get my manager, and we'll figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So she
You
goes
don't
and-
need any vigilante justice
Yeah.
today.
So she goes and gets her manager, and I go over and I'm starting to get my drinks. And she comes up behind me and she goes, I think he walked over to McDonald's. I said, okay.
Good.
And she goes, last time he was here, he was digging around the trash out front for food and asking everybody for money. And she said, when we called the cops on him, he runs inside a Panera and locks himself in the bathroom
Oh.
at Panera.
That's a good plan.
So I'm like, okay, like
Been
this.
At Panera.
Oh, yeah. Several of them.
He was avoiding the police.
Yeah,
is
been
what- So I'm all excited. I'm like, okay, this is my chance.
Yeah.
This is my chance. I'm going to confront this guy.
It's going to be a great
It's gonna be
story.
Great
on the
story.
podcast.
Great content, right?
Love that tent.
So I cannot wait
We
until
need-
the next time I see him there because it's going to happen. So he was already off at McDonald's at this point. I did not get the chance.
Oh.
But I told her.
But you
Hannah.
got your eyes out.
I said, listen. I said, I like confrontation. I don't
You're
mind
a huge fan of
talking to this guy.
confrontation.
I love confrontation.
He's not the guy that I was thinking.
I will say this, though. I like confrontation when it's justified. And sometimes not justified. But for the most part, like if I know that this person is doing wrong or mistreating someone or is just up to no good, I look forward to that.
You see a dude walking in the women's restroom,
Yeah.
you're going to do something.
I
about it.
almost did something. I think I said this on the podcast
you've
like
told
a
this
year
story.
ago. A lady,
Yeah. Lady.
well, he was wearing ladies' clothes, was walking into the women's bathroom at the swim area at Cedar Point. Now, I didn't have any kids in the women's bathroom, so like I was just kind of on guard, getting ready, and some ladies beside of me, they stood up and ran over there. So I'm like, I'm still watching.
I'll
like,
let them take care of it.
I'll let the ladies go in the ladies' room.
Sure.
I'm not going to go in the ladies'
Sure.
room. So, I had their back.
Yeah,
So
of
I was
course.
ready, on guard. So
There's a guy at Panera that I see sometimes. He's the person I thought you were talking about, but he's not the same guy. He goes there with I'm going to say it's his wife, but they might not be married. He is probably 6 foot, maybe 5'11". I'd say soaking wet. He's 120 pounds. And he and his wife go to Panera and they play video games.
I've not seen this guy.
And I've seen him there multiple times. And the one that was the strangest was, it was like they were both, I was there studying that day, and they were there for like an hour and a half. At one point, he was FaceTiming with what I think is his daughter. And I wasn't trying to poke
Obviously,
in, but it
you've
was
got
just
this whole thing down.
so loud. I mean,
Oh,
the
I
whole
gotcha.
restaurant could
Yeah.
hear this conversation because he's FaceTiming. You
Yeah.
know? And meanwhile, his wife is just doing this the whole time. She's just right there, playing a Switch. I don't know what game. I think she was playing Zelda.
It makes sense.
It's right after that game came out, and so she's doing this the whole time. And he's kind of fidgety, but he's doing stuff too, and he's playing games. They have like 4 things plugged in, like 3 cell phones
Yeah.
and a Switch, and they got all of this stuff plugged in, and they got backpacks, and they're there doing their thing, and they just have drinks, like they have like 3 drinks, but they're about that much is drank out of them, and it bothers me. Why aren't you drinking your drink?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm watching them just every once in a while. I just check up on them, and then at one point, the female who hadn't said a whole thing, or even literally, and I'm not exaggerating, had not looked up from her Switch for an hour.
Yeah.
She didn't stretch. She didn't get up to use the restroom. She didn't say, "Oh, look at this. This is crazy," or "How's whatever doing?" It was this close to her face for an hour straight. And then at one point she puts it down. She goes like that. The guy gets up. He unplugs everything, puts everything in a bag. She gets up and walks out, and he walks out too.
What?
Yeah, it was a weird situation.
That is weird.
Yeah. I mean, he is doing her bidding, I think,
Wow.
She just went like
Did
that.
she look normal?
He hopped up. Neither of them look particularly normal. But I've seen them there multiple times. And Erica was like, that was weird. I was like, you know what, though? They're out in public. They could just be stuffed in a basement somewhere, but they're getting some fresh air. They're getting some sunlight. Good for them. So
Why say many words when one snap do trick?
it was not, that was it. And
That is
she
so
meant business.
weird.
It was a strange interaction that I
Did
didn't.
she look like witchy? Like goth? Like
No, she looked
it wasn't like witchcraft. Like
No,
she didn't have him under control.
She did have him under control, but I don't know that it was witchcraft.
Okay.
It might have been connected to Zelda. Speaking of Zelda, Preston decided he would join us.
About freaking time.
Preston, it's no, you know what, Preston? This is on us. Okay, this is not your fault. This is our fault. Preston was not aware we were recording tonight, which makes a lot of sense since we record every Thursday night at 8:00.
And Jason sent out a text.
He had no idea. That's you know what, buddy.
Yeah.
That's on us.
I blame you on that one. Definitely not me getting distracted by trying to fix my internet.
Fix your internet.
Is it still down?
I fixed it. It just took forever.
Okay.
And then last night I spoke with an Indonesian woman that I wanted to strangle through the phone.
Oh, wait. A what woman?
Indonesian woman? How do you know she was Indonesian?
I just assumed.
I was going to get food today, and I said, you know what I haven't had in a while? Domino's.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it.
And I was like, this is good. So I'm going to call Domino's and get a pizza. Hello, thank you for calling Domino's. How can I help you today? I hung up. I didn't even say anything. I was like, I'm not trying to talk to a dude in Indonesia to order my pizza from 3 blocks away, right? I want to talk to the person who's making my pie.
Yeah.
I literally did. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I don't
How do you know that person wasn't?
Oh, I know. Because you could hear in the background, you
It's a call
didn't
center.
hear pizza being made.
Yeah.
You heard.
What's the sound of pizza being made? Okay.
I don't know if that.
Yeah. No, you got it.
Oh,
Don't
man.
break anything. Yeah. Okay.
We need sauce on the line.
Extra cheese here. So anyway,
There's a cockroach.
I was so mad because first of all, I don't like call centers. I don't like talking to people. Listen, if you are overseas, I assume this Indonesian person spoke more English than I speak Indonesian.
That is probably true.
But at the same time, if you don't speak perfect, unbroken King's English, I'm not interested in talking to you. And I want to talk to the person that's making my pizza.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk to. I don't trust that process.
Yeah.
I don't order pizza off the internet. I only order
An app?
pizza.
I like doing the app.
I only order pizza when I can call. And I'll only call when I can talk to the person that's actually there.
Okay, so we got to do the quick Bluey thing.
We got a lot. Oh yeah, there's.
So have you done the Bluey challenge?
Charla, is that her name?
Something like that,
Charla,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's not that I can't. I just don't. I just don't want to.
Okay, so here's the
this?
thing.
I have to watch. We have to
Bluey.
watch 10 episodes
were
of Bluey.
you here for that?
No.
And we were going to give someone wrote in the show and suggested that we do the 10 show Bluey challenge.
Dude, been there, done that. Watched 100 in a day.
You're an expert.
Yeah. So Preston
Yeah.
has seen them all.
Preston's got a little Bluey.
Yeah.
So first of all, I guess right off the bat, Preston's got Finn with him. What's up, Finn? Finn's way cooler than Preston, obviously.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, microphone. And so, what does Finn think of Bluey? Preston, this is
Captivating.
riveting.
This is about how I thought this segment
So,
was going to go.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bluey's the best thing in the world.
He likes Bluey.
He loves Bluey.
Yeah.
He will stop everything when he hears that theme.
Really?
song. Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I actually did the Bluey challenge.
I've babysat before and watched Bluey. So I don't know that I've seen 10 episodes, but I've probably seen 4.
So here's the thing. I'm watching them.
Uh-huh.
And Shelby comes downstairs, and she goes, I'm sitting in the living room by myself.
Watching
Bluey.
as you do.
As I do.
Uh-huh.
And she comes down, she goes, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm watching Bluey.
Yeah.
She goes, why are you watching Bluey?
Yeah.
And I had to explain to her that some Charlotte chick challenged us to do the Bluey challenge. And so I did it.
Okay.
So she goes, well, how many do you have to watch? I said 10.
Yeah.
She goes, how many have you watched? I'm like, I don't know. And I click, I'd watched 18.
Oh, see,
I
that's
was
how
like-
Bluey gets you.
I know, he got me.
Well, and it's
no,
really
Bluey's
easy.
a girl. Yeah.
It's
Well,
yeah.
no.
Yes, Bluey.
Is?
Yes,
Bluey is a
and
girl,
the
yeah.
sis and
It's
Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
they're both girls?
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
is Muffin. If
This
he's
changes
Muffin.
some things.
And
You know,
Fox.
my beef
There's
with
no
Bluey-
male characters except the dad.
So okay, so here's the thing. So here's my take.
All right, let's do it.
Overall, very good
Yeah.
for a kid show.
Okay.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right.
so much. I was already 18 in.
We like the accents.
Is it Australian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
So
Aussies.
I mean, it was good. Now, my one take is this: the dad is not working.
No.
The dad's always with the kids. The mom went to work. The dad was at home with the kids.
And it sets a very high standard for how dads are supposed to be when they're with their kids.
yeah, they're playing
He's
with them.
playing with
Yeah.
them the
Imaginary
whole
stuff
time.
and- yeah.
You know, he's being a fire truck for them. He's being a spaceship for them. They're crawling all over him. Every time my kids watch the show, I'm like, get off of me. I'm not like him.
And
He's a good dad.
A real Australian dad would be watching rugby, drinking a beer, and eating a Vegemite sandwich. Right?
Yep.
The dad does have a job. He's an archaeologist.
He's an archaeologist.
So he doesn't have a real job.
Listen, being an archaeologist in Australia is like being like a deep sea diver in Switzerland. You know, like, is there anything to
The
find in
Aborigines
Australia?
buried some stuff, probably.
Did they, though? I
Being
heard
an
they weren't big on that.
archaeologist
Huh?
In America,
What?
but being an archaeologist in America,
Yes.
Indiana Jones is an archaeologist.
Yes.
Yeah, but he
and
goes
did
overseas.
I missed
Yeah.
the Indiana Jones episode where he went to the movie where he went to Australia. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss it?
You did.
Speaking of his,
All right. So Charla, we did it. That's
Yeah.
our Blue. Jesse, you're the resident expert. What do you have to say about Bluey?
I mean, it's better than a lot of the cartoons that you can
Okay.
find today. But again, it sets a really high standard for fathers, and I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like it. And then there's an episode where the mom has the gall to just beg for 10 minutes to herself, and she goes and locks herself in their room, and she tells the dad, "They're yours." And it's like, they're always his because he's
Oh,
always
yeah.
doing the fun stuff.
I don't like that.
You just gallivant away to work and come home and then say, "Well, I need a break from the kids." She didn't do anything. I don't know.
do we know what her job is?
Does she wear a pantsuit?
Oh, gosh, that's a $30 microphone. He's
30.
Again, this is exactly how I foresaw this going.
Yeah.
He's making his debut on Lauer Road Radio.
He's doing his work.
He looks angry at that microphone.
He's just,
He is. He's
or
very
Yeah.
he's excited about it. He knows that that's his pathway to fame. Somehow, if he could just say something coherent.
there we go.
Just for anybody listening, that was Jesse.
I know what that sound is about.
And he also needs a diaper change.
Uh-huh.
So and that was
No, I don't.
Once
not
again, we're
yet.
talking about Jesse.
Well, he always is.
I noticed the other day. Same, Finn. Same. I noticed the other day that my wife likes to announce to the house that she has found it. We didn't know that there was a search.
Yeah.
We certainly were not involved in
Yeah.
this search. We
Yeah.
were unaware of it.
Yeah.
But yet she feels the need to just out of nowhere go, found it. We're like, uh-huh.
Well, first of all,
Uh-huh.
that's not what she sounds like.
Yeah, uh-huh. I stopped doing that because Carly really, does not like that impression of my wife.
Well.
And I'm scared of my wife, but Carly scares me maybe even more.
She is fairly intimidating, but she's never said anything directly to me about it. So, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Then you have some plausible deniability. Well, I don't say that. Jesse
Just
says
Jesse,
that.
who can
Listen,
control
I'll
Jesse?
be the black sheep. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Your white
and
Jesse.
God knows I would never give Jesse a microphone just to talk or anything. So,
So,
all right.
Do we know what she actually found?
No, it happens all the time. I never know what she found.
I was expecting there to be more, like the remote or something like. No, I don't know. She just
Congratulations.
so she just announces that she found it and then doesn't.
Yeah, we were unaware that you were looking for it, and we were not involved at all in it.
Found it. Thanks for helping me look, everybody.
Yeah.
All you had to do was ask.
No, and it's not even a guilt trip. She's just happy that she found it. She wants everybody to know. It's just found it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was like an accusatory. Found it? Like
No. She's just happy that she found it.
Well, that changes things.
Yeah.
So here's a drama thing in my house.
Okay. Let's get into it.
So in the first 2 years of marriage, which is a long time, by the way.
Last I checked, it's over 600 days.
It's over 700.
Yeah.
It's over 700 is over 600.
Yeah.
They're both.
So anyways, for the first 2
I
years
knew it was over 600.
Yeah.
I was like, I could do that quick math.
Yeah. No, I got you. I follow it. Yeah. So for the first 2 years of our marriage, I had a habit of doing something that her actions, based on my actions, almost set her house on fire multiple times.
Sure.
So growing up, it was very common in our house to put stuff in the oven. For instance, pans.
We do this.
Oh, yep.
Or bread.
What?
Or chips.
We used to put bread in the oven.
We put bread in the oven.
That was a common thing.
That's a strange one.
Not to cook. It's like a bread box.
Why didn't you just have a bread box?
I don't know, but growing up, I assumed that everyone put their bread in the oven.
Yeah.
I thought that's just what you did.
So we had a pan that went into our oven, and it had bread and chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Crackers.
Bad idea.
It's actually a great idea.
It's like this storage space that's just asking to be used.
It's not being used for,
Not being used.
I mean, a lot.
Come on.
So growing up, that's the way our mom did it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was both mom and dad, but I picture mom doing
I
that.
think that. I think so.
So for the first 2 years of marriage, I continued to do that.
As you should.
Well,
Nothing wrong with
she
that. She would just preheat the oven without even looking.
Without looking.
You cannot preheat the oven without looking.
No.
multiple times, she almost burned the house down.
Wow.
And that would be on her, not me. Listen, before you turn the oven on, you are not. Why aren't you looking just to check?
Can I say that the first time it happens, the responsibility lies mostly, almost completely on her. After it's happened once,
Yeah.
I think we need to have a sit-down conversation, and we need to say, moving forward,
we had
policy,
a disagreement for the first 2 years of our marriage.
what is the policy of this home?
She did not want me to do it.
And you kept on doing
I kept doing it until finally I'm like, she's actually going to burn the house down.
Right.
So I stopped.
Do you think she was spite preheating just to be like, I know there's something in there.
No,
and you
she
should
just-
not put anything in there. just to prove a point.
No, I mean literally.
Would
she
she
almost burned
burn
the house
down the house just to prove a point?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would.
I would. Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. But before you heat the oven, check it.
Come on. Public service
Yeah.
announcement.
What if one
if-
of the kids would have gotten there?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have
and
kids at that point.
If you're
Wow.
not using your oven as a bread box, you're doing life wrong.
Listen, I'm gonna have to deploy this in my daily life because the other day I made a sandwich and I almost bit into an earwig.
You got
Earwigs. Oh yeah, we live out in the
insects
country.
in your house.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's an earwig, and there was an earwig in one of my straws. For
I don't
one of
even
my
know what an
cups.
earwig is.
What?
Yeah.
You can Google it.
You know what an
It's
earwig
an
is.
ugly.
You've seen it.
They don't like bite. I
They have
don't
little
think.
pinchers on their
They're
butt
ugly.
and on their front.
They're
You've
ugly.
never seen Jason?
I don't know what that is. We don't have bugs in our house.
They're everywhere.
It's the most ridiculous thing.
We have mice.
Anyways,
That's a whole
ever
different
said.
thing.
They
The
take-
mice are eating the
they
bugs.
take care of the
So
bugs.
before we
Okay.
go on, kind of going on with the whole like leaving stuff and catching the
Yeah,
house
yeah,
on
yeah.
fire. So I was turning on the stove the other day, not paying attention.
Yeah.
And I put on the wrong burner.
Oh.
And I was like, why is this not getting warm? And I look, and there's some plastic Tupperware melting.
Do
Yeah.
you have electric or gas?
Electric.
Yeah. So you didn't catch it right away.
No. So I come back into this like goop mess all over. I was like,
What color was it? Tell me it was yellow.
oh
Like
no, it
cheese.
was just white.
Oh.
Well, I turned
Yellow.
black because the stovetop was
If you
black.
could melt some yellow plastic,
Listen,
come on.
yellow plastic used to be my favorite thing to melt when we used to burn our trash. If I found any yellow plastic bottles, I'd hold those back
Yeah.
Like, this is going to go on top when it gets real hot. And I
Yeah.
just watch it melt like cheese, I'll bet. And I'm like, I'm looking at it thinking, I know it doesn't taste like cheese, but gosh darn it, do I want to try.
So the obvious is the laundry detergent.
Yes.
The laundry
Tide.
detergent. Yeah. Well, Tide was red, but
Oh, sure.
there was a yellow one. I don't know.
Extra.
Arm &
Hammer, maybe.
Yeah. So it was yellow. So yeah, you get your fire going. Then you put that on top.
It's the thicker the plastic. That's why that one was good. It wasn't
Yeah.
a thin plastic. It took a second for the melting to happen, but once you did, it was a wonderful
yeah.
experience.
Did you guys burn trash growing up?
Yeah.
Do you still burn trash?
No. Well, I did. I almost burnt down our garage.
You're burning it in the garage?
No, out front of the garage. I threw some carpet on the trash burn pile, and maybe it caught on fire and it had a fire tornado. And it literally, listen, and I'm not kidding. There is video footage of it somewhere because we have doorbell cams that caught all of this.
Oh, that's cool.
And you see me stepping back and going, well, that's bigger than I thought it was going to be. And it melted the siding off of the front of our garage. Like all of it.
That's not
It's
good.
melted. No. So now I don't like very many fires.
Yeah. Well, we had a burned can, a burned barrel.
We had a burn
This is like a
barrel.
burn patch.
Yeah. That's
I feel like everybody should burn
You
their
had
trash.
cardboard.
yeah. No, we should absolutely be burning our
Every
trash.
time lightning strikes, more ozone is made. Did you know that? That's how.
So we need more lightning, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, we're not gonna. The ozone is not a resource that we're gonna run out of. It is recreated.
I gotcha.
So even if burning the Arm & Hammer bottle kills some ozone, maybe, who knows? But we know it's gonna come back. So
Yeah, does the ozone even really exist? I've
I
never
don't
seen
think
it.
it does. There's ozone alerts. What's an ozone alert? They
Well-
had them in Tulsa when we lived in Tulsa. I don't know what an ozone alert is.
Yeah.
Is there more or less ozone?
It's the ozone falling and it's going to crush us. Is that what the
Or
alert's
is it?
about?
I think it's a breathing thing.
Like an air
That doesn't
quality
make s-
alert.
Yeah, but it said ozone.
Ozone.
It's just when the temperatures skyrocket and the air becomes stagnant. The air pollution
Stagnant
rises
air.
to dangerous levels.
pollution rises to dangerous levels.
I've always said that.
I heard that the ozone is getting so bad they're about ready to upgrade it to the P zone.
I saw that one coming.
Funny.
They're
I think
almost
that's funnier as I think about it more.
they're almost out of letters.
I have a couple P zones.
Sure. Do you want to do the Netflix suggestion
Yeah,
of the
I've
week?
got a
'Cause
couple really good things.
I have gold, Jerry.
Is Destiny
Gold.
still sitting over there?
No.
No.
Finn has
Okay.
gone
She
away.
left a long
So
time
that
ago.
might work to our advantage. We'll do the Netflix and we'll come back to that.
Because I got good stuff.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. Or we don't want to put a box around what you watch, so you never know.
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
Brought to you by Paramount Plus. It is a Paramount Plus original. I don't think it's Paramount.
That's
Fox.
Fox.
Yeah, that's Fox. 21st century. So Paramount Plus, it's a Paramount original. It's called Significant Other. So there's a couple that goes into the woods, and they start off as boyfriend-girlfriend.
As you do.
Halfway through, he proposes to her.
What did he propose? Like, let's get out of here?
He proposed,
Should we go to eat?
With a ring, he proposed a marriage.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
a marriage proposal.
She wasn't too happy about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she's like, why aren't there like
Well, it turns out
cameras here?
No, her parents were divorced, and it was messy.
She was against the idea of marriage.
She was against the idea of marriage.
I get
so
it.
for the first half of the movie, it was a lot of that.
Sure.
The second half of the movie,
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Aliens and murder and just crazy, like shape shifting. It's crazy.
Who's in this movie?
I don't think anybody famous. It's actually very good. If you
What's
Harrison. Okay, so listen. We sat down, me, Stella, and Harrison, we sit down to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer, so I already know some stuff's going to happen. Like some crazy stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And there's a scene, this doesn't necessarily give it away because it's in the trailer, where she throws her fiance over a cliff.
She accepted the proposal?
Yeah. And this guy drops like 150, 200 feet splat on a rock. Okay?
Dead.
I saw this in the trailer.
DED.
Yeah. And I knew it was going to happen. So the first half of the movie, pretty slow. And Harrison gets up, and they're on the cliff. And Harrison gets up. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to bed. I'm like, dude, it's going to get crazy. He's like, I don't know. It's pretty lame. I'm like, just give it 30 more seconds. Pew, splat. And he leaves.
It was over like halfway through the movie.
I know.
Like there was nothing.
No, it was really good. It got really, really good. So listen, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but it was a solid B+.
I don't want to get our hopes up too much, but we're at 9 words for Harrison. So
Ooh, okay.
Almost at double digits.
don't hurt yourself.
Okay, what's your suggestion?
My suggestion can be found in the movie theater. Jason, we don't do this very often. We're gonna get serious for just a second. I apologize.
Indiana Jones.
No, Preston saw that. He can talk about that later.
I heard.
First of all, he'll give us a review. I've not seen it yet. First of all, I realized that when I'm in the movie theater, first of all, I love the previews. Do you like watching the previews?
Yeah.
I really enjoy the previews.
I miss the trivia before the movies. Do they still do that?
It's just commercials.
I like the trivia.
I like the trivia too. I shout it out. Bradley Cooper. I realized that when Erica and I are in a movie theater, we don't go to movies very often. We used to quite a bit, but I realized that when we're in a movie theater, okay, and there's a preview that comes up. After the preview, there's a face that we make to one another that says, that could be pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's this. It's That's it.
Yeah.
That's a whole conversation. So, first of all, I realized that. Secondly, the movie that we went to see, which is my Netflix
Can you
suggestion.
describe that face for the audio listeners?
Oh, sure. It's kind of like a bit of a shrug, but not like it's like a who knows kind of a shrug.
Eyebrows raised.
Eyebrows raised, lower lip kind of up a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of pursed lips a little bit.
Almost a Jim Halpert.
It's a bit of a Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
It's like it's a more optimistic Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would call it an optimistic Jim Halpert.
Okay. And she gives the Pam.
Pam would always tilt her head a little bit. That was her thing,
Okay. So you're watching the previews.
So watch the previews. Bada bing, bada boom. The movie starts. The movie is called The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
And it's got Jim Caviezel in it. Who first of all,
Superman.
I love Jim Caviezel.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
He was Superman, right?
No.
Jim Caviezel was never
He was
Superman?
Jesus in the Passion of the Christ.
It's even better.
Some would say.
I don't think he was in.
Wasn't Jim Caviezel Superman at some point?
No.
It's something?
No.
Okay.
No, never.
He was Jesus. I get those mixed up sometimes.
Some people do. I'm a big fan of Jim Caviezel. Always have been.
And Jesus.
Ever since there was a movie called, I think it was called like The Life of David. It was the first movie I ever saw of his.
He was David too?
Very good. It wasn't that David.
Oh.
And then he really got popular after The Count of Monte Cristo. He was in that.
He was the Count.
He was the Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay.
And that was a great movie.
Yeah.
And then Passion of the Christ. And he was in some TV show that Eric used to watch about a guy that used to, I don't know, do something. But this movie is called The Sound of Freedom. It tells the true life story of Tim Ballard, who rescues children from sex trafficking. So it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's as heavy as you think it is. It's not sensational. There's nothing in the movie that, like, I took Abby and Michaela. I wanted them to come see it. And so there's nothing in the movie that I was like, oh, I wish they hadn't seen that. Like, they avoid crossing lines, obviously. Yeah. But they do let you know. I mean, it's the horrors of what's happening, I honestly think, and I know we don't get serious very often, because there's a time, you know what, Jason? King Solomon once said, there's a time and place for everything. Everything has a time and a place. Time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to dance. And so,
That's a song by the Byrds.
There is a season, turn, a time to be born, a time to die. So this, is not typically a time to be serious. For us, this is a time to laugh. And we think that that's a good thing. The Bible says...
The podcast, not the movie.
The podcast.
Yeah, okay.
The Bible says that laughter doeth good like a medicine.
Yes. Yeah.
But sometimes we got to get serious.
Okay. I don't like this series.
I think everyone should see this movie.
Okay.
I really do.
Can I wait? Can I wait to buy it?
Sure.
Okay.
I think it should be supported. Like I want it to be supported. I want to get eyeballs on this. B, we ought to know what's happening around the world. Like, and the reasons that you don't want to see it are obvious.
Yeah.
But I think that one of those is like, I don't want to be bothered with this because this is like such a big problem. What am I supposed to do about this? Right? They say 2 million children around the world involved. I heard
500,000 in America every year.
Yeah. It's
That's a lot.
It's estimated to be $150 billion industry.
Jeez.
They just, and I will. So the other thing that I would suggest that you watch is Jordan Peterson interviewing Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel together. He interviewed them on his podcast. It was excellent. But I think it was in that where they told a story that they just like recently took down this. It's horrible. This factory in Africa where they're harvesting organs from children. So there's horrible things happening. But thank God that this Tim Ballard guy and other people like him exist. The story is excellent, and it's not a Christian movie, but he's a Christian, and so I would say it has a strong Christian element because Jesus said that it'd be better to have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the ocean than to harm a child. So, the heart of God is with children, but it's not like a straight Christian movie. He's a Christian. It's a good movie. And that was one of my concerns. It's like, okay, is this movie not going to be good? It's going to be cheesy. And I went into it like prepared for that.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be like God's Not Dead, 7 or something. I don't know. I don't know what they're up to.
He's surely alive.
Yeah, like somebody said I don't know where Terry and Susan are my in-laws. I love them.
Yeah.
And Susan really liked that God's Not Dead movie. And she said I should watch it, and I told her I did. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. But then
I saw it.
But then later she came to me. She's like, Dan, you're not going to believe it. There's a sequel to God's Not Dead. And I was like, what is it called? Like God's Still Not Dead?
Basically. Yeah.
Guys, guess what? Still alive.
What?
So it's not cheesy at all. Like that. What was that movie? Facing the Giants. Man, that movie stunk.
I didn't see it.
It was not good.
I almost refuse to watch Christian movies because
as
of
you
that.
should. The story was wonderful.
Yeah.
The story. I want to see it as a documentary. Maybe.
Yeah.
The movie was not good. They hired like pastors to be like the actors. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great because this pastor can really act. Let me tell you something about pastors. Okay, they overestimate what they can do.
Yeah.
Greatly.
A lot.
Greatly. This much I know.
You've never said a more true statement.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
And I've said a lot of statements. So the movie is called The Sound of Freedom, starring Jim Caviezel. Apparently they're going to make another movie about, because this Tim Ballard guy, it's not like a one and done story. He's devoted his life to this.
Yeah. He's got a lot of stories.
It's like taken with heart.
Okay.
So
I think Mel Gibson's behind and Jim Caviezel, they're getting to do a 4-part documentary about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
And
about Hollywood's role in it too, aren't they?
It's going to be really
well, Jim
really
Caviezel,
crazy.
in an interview that I was watching or listened to him, he was talking, and Jim Caviezel, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Caviezel, like in the middle of all that COVID nonsense, he was like calling out, he's like, you specifically, getting back to the pastors, he was calling out cowardly pastors who close their churches.
Yeah.
And like, what are you just going to do whatever the government? I mean, I'm like this Jim Caviezel guy. I like this guy. And he was talking about this movie, Sound of Freedom. And he was talking about the problem all around the world in Hollywood, that sort of stuff. And one of the things he said was, he goes, hey, for anybody that's, wanting to learn more, he goes, why don't you Google Les Wexner, find out about that guy.
Yeah.
He's one of our own here in Ohio.
King of New Albany.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
He's bad.
Yeah, we might bring him up in a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We might bring him up in a couple weeks. But we're not teasing anything. We can't talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
There's just some stuff we can't talk about.
You know what else I like about the Jim Caviezel guy? He just looks like a bad A dude.
He
Like
does.
he looks like a guy that you just.
I was not.
He looks like the guy that would go out and chase pedophiles. Like in all seriousness, like
Yeah.
if he
I
told
mean,
me to do something, I'd be like, oh,
the
yes, sir.
scene in this movie when he lures this one guy in and basically tricks him to think that he's one of him, and then when he like nails him, oh, it's such a good scene.
So I saw an interview with Clay Clark was interviewing Jim Caviezel.
Clay Clark is a big fan of our show. Big fan.
That is true. And so
He sang that song about the cross. What was that song? No, that was Clay Cross.
that was Clay Cross.
I'm
that's
sorry,
right.
that was somebody else. I'll bet Clay Clark knows who Clay Cross is.
How
You
many
think so?
Clays can there be? Come
Clay,
on.
Clay Clark, Clay Matthews, Clay Cross, Clay Court. Like in tennis, they play on the clay court. That's what the French Open is played on, I think.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. So Clay Clark was interviewing Jim Caviezel, and they're talking about the documentary they're getting ready to do. And Jim Caviezel just bust out crying.
Yeah.
Like it's so heavy on him. Like
He
this-
said when he was making the movie, he got involved because Tim Ballard will invite people. You can come on these raids, see it. We're not trying to hide anything. We'll show you what we're doing.
Yeah.
And he got involved with what Tim Ballard was doing. And he said at one point, one of the guys was like, "Listen, you don't like you don't." And he's like, "Listen, if he saw it, then I want to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to, you know." And I mean,
Like, so-
the literal hell,
Yeah.
the literal hell that the children are going through, and that what these people are fighting against is it's remarkable.
I've heard stories, just unfortunate stories from people somewhat close to us. Some of the trauma and stress and trafficking stuff that has gone on, and it's really, 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 really bad. And I heard someone say a long time ago, in the sense of helping people overseas, third world countries, people that are poor, they need help, whatever. He's like, you either go or you send money to go.
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel that about the trafficking. Like, I don't know if I could handle the darkness. I honestly, I don't know if I could.
Yeah, the interview was interesting because Jordan Peterson talked a lot about that. Like, how do you do this?
So that's the thing. So to me, I don't know if I could handle that darkness. It would overcome me. Like, I would probably become an alcoholic because I couldn't sleep at night. I really don't want to know details, but I know it's super bad, and I'm willing to give money towards it. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, this the specific story about the Sound of Freedom was largely funded by an organization that Glenn Beck set up. Glenn Beck was because this guy quit his job with the government in order because the government was like, we don't want to be involved in this, and so Glenn Beck set up this organization, and it's still there. We should look it up. But,
okay, so can we move on?
Yeah, we can be done being serious, but honestly, go see the Sound of Freedom. You can't look the other way because it's happening, and these kids can't look the other way.
Preston, how was Indiana Jones?
Rate it out of 10.
It was definitely like a 6.
Was it the worst one?
No, Crystal Skull is still the worst.
Okay, well,
It's still the worst.
What did you think of Crystal Skull?
horrible. It was awful.
bad.
It was really bad.
There's time travel in this movie, am I right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but it's so.
I love
weird,
time
man.
travel. It's like one of my favorite
It
things.
doesn't belong in Indiana Jones.
Huh? I missed it. I didn't hear what you
Time
said.
travel does not belong in Indiana
Oh.
Jones.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel like that's a
evolving the
big
story.
thing though. Recently, like everything's doing time travel, so I think it was like just a boring trope to me. That's probably
I
why didn't
agree.
Like it.
It's a boring trope.
Like
That might be the name of this episode.
everybody in the
So
world is doing.
what you're saying is don't see Indiana Jones.
I mean,
I'll watch it when it comes out on
yeah,
Disney.
watch it on Disney
Okay.
Plus.
Yeah, I mean, I
Don't
will,
pay to
but
do it.
No.
Yeah.
What have you watched?
I've been watching Home Improvement. Yeah, I know. He's got the best catchphrase ever. Everyone can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Savannah actually turned it on, and I was like, oh. And
So you're
got
too
into
young
it.
to watch it when it first came out.
I was born in 93. I have vague memories of watching it with my parents. Maybe like the last season
Yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
some like
And you were
recent
little.
reruns. And
Yeah.
I was little.
Yeah.
So all I remember, what's funny is the one thing I picked out that I was like, I remember it being different was Wilson. I felt like growing up watching it, you never saw below his eyes at all.
I thought that was the case.
If you rewatch it, you can see almost his entire face several times, even in the first couple episodes through the fence, because they don't cover it. And I'm like, I felt like
Maybe reconstruct it. Like you could probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so but that was the only thing.
Gaps
that was-
in the fence.
Yes,
Yeah.
big gaps, and
Yeah.
then there's a couple scenes where it's like the camera's above him, and so you can see like the whole side profile. And I remember there being so much more mystery as a kid. Like, what does he really look like? And you
I
can
think
put
in the
it
last
together.
episode they show him.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still in season 1. So
I love Tim Allen.
I get
Yeah.
I get the sense that Savannah's a big JTT fan. Like she was super into him, maybe.
the
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
the middle kid.
probably
Yeah.
probably we haven't got there yet,
Okay.
but
All right.
I look forward to being angry about that here in a couple days. Am I not good enough? Like,
You know JTT.
I mean, listen, JTT.
Come on.
We're talking JTT.
Okay,
All right.
Harrison, were you watching?
I got nothing.
Cross double digits.
He's at 11.
Yes. Shut it down.
Some people said it couldn't happen. All right, that is it for the Netflix suggestion of the week. Jason, I have a plethora of things that I can talk to anybody really about. Anybody want to talk?
Well, I've got stuff, and
You want to do your thing there? That thing?
I'll do the
We can do
thing.
that. That's
Okay.
that's probably pretty good.
so Snow White, the movie Snow White, the
Listen,
story.
You got to listen to Jordan Peterson talk about Snow White. He will break it down.
Really?
Yes, for sure. Like he loves Snow White. And
Really?
When he interviews a guy named Jonathan Peugeot, they talk about Snow White for like an hour.
Really?
It's like you have no idea how much depth there is in Snow White.
Okay,
It's
I didn't know.
Crazy deep. Yeah.
So anyway, Snow White. There's 7 dwarves that are in the story of.
They represent the inferior man. She is surrounded by the
Okay,
inferior
listen.
man.
I'm not Jordan Peterson. This is actually going to be way more fun than Jordan Peterson.
The thing about Jordan Peterson is whenever he gets really mad, he always uses the word buddy, and that's like
I thought he said bloody.
No, he says buddy.
Oh.
He's like, oh, you think you don't look? Oh, he got to get really. He's like,
It's almost Irish.
yeah, a little Irish. Yeah. Oh, you think you got to choose your pain, huh? You think that's no good, right? Well, here's what I'm telling you, buddy. All right. And whenever he goes like that, you're like, oh, jeez, I just get chills down my spine when he gets really mad. You know. Well, if you don't like that, buddy, what do you think? And that
Look
scares
into
me.
that camera and ask Jordan Peterson to come on the show.
Jordan, we're big fans. I am. I'm a big fan. I watched your episode with Eric Metaxas, and I've been waiting for you guys to meet, and I'm so happy that you did. I'm sorry that Eric talked over you quite a bit. There was quite a bit of that, and I apologize for that. But you should have known what you're getting into. That guy likes to talk. So,
Okay, so
Love to
Jordan,
have you on.
Jordan, come on the show.
or Eric, you'd like to have.
I don't
Eric
know
on.
who that is.
He's more of a jokester.
I like that.
Jordan's
guy.
so serious.
I like Jordan.
I love Jordan Peterson.
So-
I actually listen to him.
There are
I don't
7.
just listen to the guy who talks about gay frogs. What? Continue.
Alex Jones.
I know that's what you listen
Get
to.
Alex Jones and Jordan Peterson in a conversation
That
together.
that wouldn't work. I love Alex. If Alex could come on the show, come on.
Okay.
All day. You're going to be gone next week. Maybe we can get Alex up here
Alex,
next
come
week.
on in my place. All right. 7 dwarves.
Okay, 7 dwarves. Their names are Doc, Sleepy, Dopey, Grumpy, Happy, Bashful, and Sneezy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go around the room, primarily to the married men, and I'm going to ask you to use one of those 7 dwarves to describe your wife.
Read them off again.
Doc, Sleepy, Dopey, Grumpy, Happy, Bashful, and Sneezy.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with Preston.
Preston.
Oh no, my wife's here.
Yeah, I know.
Do we have to play this game?
You have
Yes,
to play the
you
game,
have to
yes.
play this game.
Is my pay gonna get docked if I don't?
Yes.
Yes.
Crap.
So as of recently, I would say sleepy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Because she's sleep deprived because of a new baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's more like me. But
Ooh, that's safe.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Jesse.
just gonna go safe. I'm gonna say happy
Okay.
Oh.
because she's married to me.
Savannah Straight.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That one. Yep. It's safe.
Okay.
She's happy.
Yep. All the time
Okay.
because of me.
I'm gonna also say sleepy.
Uh-huh.
I think she likes to sleep.
Let me see the list
Yeah.
again.
Doc.
Uh,
What's Doc do?
no. Yes. Yes.
Check. Check. Check.
I have never been a fan of the way my wife sneezes.
What is she? How's she sneeze?
Something like that.
Shelby's a 3 sneezer.
That's a common thing.
A chew. All back to back to back.
Erica, I mean, I don't believe this about her, but one might think she was summoning a demon. The way she sneezes, it's intense. You know,
Do the vocal cords?
this is a big disagreement.
so listen.
This is a big argument that we have.
Listen.
I've told her from the beginning of our marriage, you do not have to engage your vocal cords when you sneeze.
Sneezing does not require
They're
the vocal
separate
cords.
things, but she
Yeah.
disagrees.
I enjoy using my vocal cords when I sneeze, but it's not necessary.
Sometimes when I'm by myself and I know a sneeze is going to come, I legs shoulder width apart, feet, you know what I mean? And I really kind of, and I just, let it go, and it just
I
feels
like
so
a
good.
power
Just really
sneeze.
lean into it,
Sneezing-
use your abs to really get
The
it.
best sneeze you'll ever have is while you're sitting on the toilet.
Because there's no worries.
No worries.
Yeah.
You just let
Yeah.
it go.
Yeah. What's
great.
Worst case scenario? You hear a
There
plop.
isn't one. It's all best case.
It helps everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Loosens everything up. I like a good power sneeze.
Listen, I like to sneeze too, but
Sneezing's like one of my favorite things to do.
I wish I could. If I could sneeze on demand,
Yes.
I probably wouldn't even go to work. I would just sneeze.
So
all
I
day.
kind of can.
You can sneeze on demand.
Yeah, if I have to kind of walk outside, and as soon as it's bright, I sneeze every single time.
Really? Mm-hmm. Huh.
Never fails.
That's interesting.
Well, that's about a show. I was walking through Meijer the other day, and I was looking at the magazines, monthly magazines, and there's a monthly magazine about the Civil War. I'm like, can you imagine working at a monthly magazine about a war that happened like 150 years ago? Be like, guys, I think, do we got anything new about the Civil War? Anything? That's got to be
You're not doing any interviews.
It's got to be a tough round table.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Lincoln? Have we covered every angle?
Wait, there was a lot of stuff happening.
Listen, there's a lot of Civil War stuff, but to come up with new stuff, Civil War stuff every week, that just seems like a lot.
How many
That's a tough
episodes
job.
of that magazine could you produce?
Me?
Yeah.
Depends on how much I was getting paid. If the money was right,
At
infinite.
least as many issues of that magazine as we did episodes where you talked about
Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. It's like 6.
Don't tempt
Yeah.
me.
That almost killed the show.
It did. It kind of did kill the show a little bit. All right. This is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.
Good night, Lauer Patch Kids.